Nicholas Füllkrug to West Ham, I don't believe it's going to happen. Now, I do think that there is... I'm inviting myself having some egg on my face with this one. It's probably easier to sit on the fence and say it may or may not happen, but I can't believe it. I won't believe it. I think the point is what's driving me is I don't want to believe it. And I'll tell you why. It's because I think if this happens, it would really indicate a massive failure in West Ham's transfer strategy, our transfer policy. It would be a massive transfer window failing, it has to be said, because there is nobody that could convince me that Nicholas Füllkrug was a target anything other than, I don't know, a week ago, 2 weeks ago. And this is really important because for so long we have been told that it's the pivotal signing. The priority signing was striker, centre forward, somebody to knock Mikel Antonio out of the team, somebody to right the wrongs of Sebastian Haller or Gianluca Scamacca where the club had got it wrong. This is where the money was going to be spent. This is the big stuff. This is really, really important. That's what we've been told by the club. And you know what? Even if we weren't told that by the club, we know it to be true because it's been a failing for so long. Now, I'm not saying that Füllkrug was not on some list somewhere in the bottom of the basement, but this was not meant to happen. This is not the young, athletic striker that we have been looking for, basically. It really isn't. This is a stopgap. There's no mistake about it. This is in an emergency, break glass striker. And if what we're saying now is that this is what we're doing, then maybe, just maybe, the case could be argued that this would be a good deal. But for this to be a good deal means there's been a massive shift, and it's happened very, very quickly. And listen, there's no way of discussing this without really talking about John Duran. But the reason I wanted to talk about this in particular is sometimes things happen at West Ham and they create quite a binary response. And it could be anything. Excuse me, I'll just change that light there. It could be, not that you want to see me in any more illuminated than you already do. It's probably people say, oh no, too much Gonzo already. It could be whether, are you Moyes in, are you Moyes out? There's a binary decision, isn't it, there, really? And it doesn't really create any argument for nuance. It's just in or out. It's completely binary. And I think many would agree that things have become a little bit tetchy of late over the last few days. Not just in the West Ham world, but if you go onto social media in general, that's just the way things are at the moment. And when it gets like that, tolerance levels go down and you get these binary decisions. And I've noticed this yesterday on Nicholas Füllkrug. So myself and Gio did a video about him yesterday. I also wrote an article about him. And a lot of the responses that came back were, well, hold on a second. He's a decent player, A. And B, he'd be good value. Do you know what? I wouldn't argue on either of those. They can both be true, but it still means there's been a massive shift in policy. Because what that would mean is, OK, West Ham are no longer going for this stellar priority marquee signing of a young, athletic player who can improve and push Mikel Antonio out of the team. That would mean that for it to be true that he's a decent enough player and he's good value. Right, OK, so that's changed. We're no longer going for the big stellar signing. We're going for good value. We're basically going bargain basement hunting, which is why, I'm not sorry it upset anyone. And I said yesterday that the pearl diver in Tim Stuyton's, rather than diving for pearls, he's dredged up a canal and found an old shopping trolley, right? It was a joke. And some people take offence at anything, honestly. This would be it. It just means that strategy has shifted. So you would have to ask the question, why would that happen? Well, the obvious reason is, the obvious answer, is that we failed to get any of our other targets, and that's a worry. It's a worry that our inability to get any of the other signings over the line would make us switch from not only the type of player we're looking to recruit, but also switch from the amount of money we're willing to pay. And almost also the age demographic. Gio made a great point yesterday. A 31-year-old a striker comes in, he becomes our youngest senior striker. Now, I do realise that's in a contradiction of terms. Youngest senior, basically, we're not counting Callum Marshall, Divine Obama's gone, as you'll all well know. This wasn't what was meant to happen. This really wasn't. And you've got to remember, we've been being told for quite some time that Ivan Toney at 28 and 29, next birthday, might be towards tipping over the edge of the age scale. Then you've got to factor in that we had the second oldest squad in the Premier League last season. And let's be fair, we looked tired and we looked leggy. And that's really the base of my argument. Not that he is a good or a bad player. He could be good, bad, or indifferent. And let's just say I think he's probably got some really good vision, some good passing. He's good in the air, and he probably does represent good value. But even as I say, all of those things, even if we establish that all of those things are true, something still happened at West Ham. It really has. I do suspect. Well, as I said, look, if we're going to get the wherever it is, where is it? It's somewhere there. The Poppycock Homer. If we're going to get the Poppycock Homer out, I'm calling this one as Poppycock. I really am, because I can't believe it for all the reasons that I've just given. I can't believe that West Ham would switch their strategy so much. And Gio made the point yesterday that this guy was known to Maximilian Hans, of course, who was from Werder Bremen. He's our video analyst. He's a data analytics expert. Yeah, okay, well, that's great. But what that guy was brought in to do was to look at all the data and all the numbers of all the players in world football and find uncut gems. Not to go and hire some bloke he knew from his old job, his old place of work. That's not the gig. That's what Summer Soucek could do that. That's what he did with Vladimir Soufal. It also, you've got to factor in that Tim Steidten has been working on this player to get this pivotal, primary, most important position of the team. Not my words, right? But I do believe it to be the case. But for over 12 months. Sebastian Haller was meant to work out. It didn't work out. It's the lineage of the story. We ended up selling him at a massive loss. Bought him for 42.5 million. Sold him at a massive loss to Ajax, just over 20 million. David Moyes said then, I've got money to spend. He couldn't do it. Took him a long, long time. Eventually came up with Gianluca Scamacca. It was a wrong signing. Good, decent enough player, don't get me wrong. Good at his best, exceptional and unplayable. Brilliant last season in Europe for Atalanta. Not so great in the European Championships, but let's be fair, Italy weren't. But it didn't work out. And I guess time will tell in terms of his career whether we overpaid for him or whether we didn't. But it didn't work out. So he was £35 million. Damn, we mucked that one up. So we mucked up Sebastian Haller and we mucked up Gianluca Scamacca. So it was very much Tim Steidten was mandated with, get us this guy in. Get us a new guy in. And it possibly is Duran. Possibly and probably that is the guy. And I just find it... I think a lot of it is relief. A lot of people are so concerned that we are not going to sign a striker that when we get linked with one, they're relieved. And I think this is what's happened with Füllkrug here, because, as I say, it was very, very binary, the two opinions yesterday, very, very tetchy, which was a case of, this guy's a good guy, just get over it, get him in. And, okay, you can do that, but that's to ignore all that other stuff I've basically said in the last 8 minutes. And even just that he wouldn't even have been in our top 5 targets. So I find it difficult to find any relief in that. Oh, okay, no, it's all right, we're getting this guy's all right. No, that's concerning that we've not been able to bring any of our other ones in. I still suspect we'll get Duran. And that's why I said it at the start of this video. I don't necessarily believe this. But I take you back to something which was originally said, which was to kick Mikel Antonio out of the team. I'm not sure this guy does that. He might do. But I don't think there's loads of it. I don't think that you're definitely getting rid of him. And I think there would be some that would argue, well, hold on, Duran doesn't necessarily kick Antonio out of the team. Well, maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. Not now. But you are buying someone that's going to get better. So after a little while, acclimatising to West Ham and Julian Lopetegui's style of football, you would anticipate that the £40 million striker from Aston Villa, the 20-year-old, is getting better and getting more suited to West Ham's style of play. Even if it didn't happen, the intention is there to buy an expensive player who's going to improve, and you buy a player for 40 million in the hope that he's going to be a £100 million player and be completely and utterly dominant. That's not what's happening here. Borussia Dortmund are not getting rid of Füllkrug because he's brilliant. They're getting rid of him because they think Guirassy is better. And we were after him as well. So you've got to be careful about getting people's cast-offs. And I understand, again, that's something that, again, will trigger people. Oh, don't cast off. How dare you? He played for Germany. He scored 2 goals in the European Championships. Did he start in it? He might have started in the Champions League final. So I know all of that. I understand. I understand all of that. But I just feel, even if it's the case that the system has failed somewhere along the line. So I can't be cock-a-hoop about it. I can't be buzzing about it. I can't be ecstatic about this. Far from it. And I'm seeing a realigning of how Lopetegui plays. For so long, about how Lopetegui plays, and, you're going to need somebody, a mobile number 9. This is what we hear we need. Someone that's strong, someone that's athletic, someone that's mobile. Well, this isn't that. So now it's a slight reframing. Oh, but he'll be good because we put long balls into the box. Or we may not. And he's good at coming and holding up the ball. Yeah, hold on. What about the pace bit that was so important? What about when you're facing defenders? We know he's good with his back to defenders. It just, this thing is constantly getting reframed. Anyway, look, I'm not agitated about it because I don't believe it. I got to say, I would be slightly worried if it does happen. But I don't think it will. I still think Duran will be the one. Before I go, this is your last day, not on Earth or anything. I don't think there's an asteroid or anything like that. This is your last day to join Hammer's Chat Patron and will basically get a chance to win a match-worn Jarrod Bowen shirt. He wore it against Liverpool. He scored against Liverpool. It cost us a lot of money to get this Hammer's Chat. So we're giving it away. We're giving it away to a Patreon member, but you have to have been signed up in the month of July. That's now. Just about. Links in the description below. Patreon.com/Hammer's Chat. We've got 3 separate tiers. The lowest, the smallest of which is just a Hammer's Chat Patron. That's not we got them do Mild Addict and we do Addict. Various increments of juiciness and loveliness that you get. But even if you just joined up as a regular member, £3.60 a month, we think that's excellent value. It doesn't just get you entered into the Not raffle for the Jarrod Bowen shirt. It also gets you a whole load of additional content. It's a great way for you guys to support Hammer's Chat, which allows myself and Gio to upload videos on a regular basis. We got loads. We got the Babbling Irons podcast. We got the Seas over. I was going to say something else then. The Overland and Sea Words podcast, which is a newbie. We've got a Naked podcast. We got breakfast shows. We got build-up shows. We got player ratings. We have got a heavy load of analytics to come this upcoming season as well. We got discounts to our online store. We got ticket giveaways. We've given away loads and loads of shirts, including this Jarrod Bowen one. We got WhatsApp groups. We got funniness. We got naughtiness. We got a bit of everythingness basically. But as I say, it's a great way for you guys to support Hammer's Chat. But even if you can't, even just watching these horrible, annoying adverts massively helps, as do our wonderful sponsors like ETC Sport. Is ETC Sport? ETC Sports in the corner there somewhere. I reckon I'll pop it up there. Obviously, I'll put that in afterwards. But anyway, yes, listen, check the link below. Hammer's Chat Patreon channel. That's patreon.com/Hammer's Chat. Get signed up today and get your name down and get in the Not draw, the Not raffle. Not allowed to do that. For the Jarrod Bowen shirt.